Hi guys, welcome and welcome back again to my channel. I am Grace, and on this channel we create a lot of sewing vlogs as well as sew along for my sewing patterns. However, today is going to be part 2. I know that this is long awaited and it's part 2 of my sew along, and if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'm going to leave that down in the description box for you to go check out. So in the part 1, I told you at the end of the video that I was going to make this into 2 parts because it was beginning to look so long. So now in this part 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the top I want to make. I already have a picture of what I want to make, and I already drafted the pattern, the basic bodice block. So now from that pattern, we're then going to create the pattern we need to actually make the top itself. So I'm going to make it using the gingham fabric I showed you in the first part of the video. And also, I'm currently wearing a trouser piece right here. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm currently wearing this trouser right here, and it's actually going to be a trouser for a pattern I'm currently working on. However, the problem with it is that this was actually the first sample I made, right? And the pattern is actually ready, so it's just for me to like start working on it, but I have a lot of other patterns to work on prior to working on this one. So the issue with this is the waistband. So when I made this, I made the waistband a bit too small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo this and make the waistband again. So I'll probably do that in this video. I really hate altering or mending. Yeah, that's the word. Mending outfits. I really do not like that aspect of sewing at all. However, for today, I'm just going to do that. So once we're done with the top and I am okay with the way everything looks, there we are then going to work on this. So this is a very beautiful, I'm really into flowy trouser pieces. So this right here is one of that. It's really flowy and it has a waistband. The front is just a regular waistband. Now the back is where it's elasticated, as you can see. Okay, so makes it very comfortable. But the thing is that because the waistband is a bit too small, it's a struggle pulling it up from my hip area, because the hip is the widest part of my body, compared to what it looked like after I'd already fixed the problem, right? It was just easy breezy. So now that that is done, I'm going to then work top, and after I'm done working on the top, we'll come mend this trouser piece because I really love it and I wear it so much. I feel like I wear this like every single week. And yeah, I feel a bit iffy still working on some summer outfits, even though like the weather is gradually changing. It's getting a bit cool, but it's not yet cold. So for now, we can still work on some summer-ish outfits. And I already got some fabrics that I'm going to use to work on like the colder season soon. So like some of them are already here. Some of them are actually the fabrics you're seeing here. This one right here is a tweed fabric and I love it, and it's something I'm going to use to make a birthday dress, a birthday outfit for myself coming soon. Then most of this right here is also another fabric I got. It's actually a blanket. However, I saw this really beautiful I say like a cropped jacket, and I'm thinking about making something like that in my own way and hopefully make a pattern out of it. I'm going to use this beautiful fabric right here, and this one right here is also a very lovely fabric, and I'm thinking, I saw this picture of this maxi skirt and I'm thinking of using this right here to make it. I don't know if you guys would be interested in like me giving you a fabric haul on some of the fabrics I have. I do have some really interesting fabrics. The issue right here is that I don't know what most of the blends are, and that is because I get them from a site, and on there they don't really give a lot of description. They just let you know if it is a lightweight fabric or a heavyweight fabric and what season it's appropriate for. So that's the issue. But yeah, I really love this fabric right here. So I'm thinking about using this to make like the maxi skirt I told you about. If I find the picture, I'm going to place it here. Then I'm also, because I loved it so much, I ended up buying 2 of it. So I'm going to use this other one to make another skirt that is also a pattern I'm working on. I've been working on that one since the beginning of last year too, I think. So yeah, I do have a lot of patterns I'm working on, and I'm a one-woman show, so it's a lot, and I'm also dealing with other things on the side too. So yeah, but anyways, now that I'm done talking way too much, let's just dive right into the pattern making itself. I'm just going to explain everything as I do it. So basically, what I did was to draft the basic bodice block for this. As you can see, let me bring this close for you to see. I drafted this, and now I have, this is the back and this right here is the front. So now for the front, I'm going to start working on the front first. So because the front is going to need a princess seam and it's going to need a bunch of other things. Very simple, but at the same time, I want to look at what it should look like. So this is what it should look like. Okay, so now that I've basically gone ahead to draw a pattern piece, like I said, now it's time for us to do what we need to do. So first of all, the front is is basically just a princess seam on the side right here, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to then calculate what I need. So to get the dart points right here, I am going to divide. To find that, I need to do the calculation. So whenever I'm doing this, I always calculate like my bust circumference divided by 8 rather. Nipple to nipple measurement is going to be 36, which is my bust, divided by 8, and I'll subtract that by 1, and whatever I get is what I need. So for me that is 3.5, so I'm going to go from the center front by 3.5 and mark. Okay, now that I've marked that, I'm then going to draw a line here. Okay, so now what I want to do is to then create my darts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark basically from this bust here, I'm going to go downwards by 3.5 inch. So that's going to create my under bust measurement. So let me just put that on the bust. Okay, so now that that is done, what I'm going to do is, so basically what I'm going to do is from the under bust right there, I'm going to mark 1 inch on both sides like so. Then I'm going to connect it all the way to the top here, but before I connect it, I don't like it being connected directly to the top. So what I'm going to do is I am going to mark 1/4 inch upwards and downwards at the bust points, so that way when I am making this, it's not pointy here, right? So it just curves seamlessly. So, and now the measurement I've taken here, I'm going to make sure I transfer that here. Okay, I'm going to make sure I transfer that here so that it accounts for that allowance that's going to be taken in from here. So now I am just going to mark like so. So I made a mistake. What I'm supposed to do is actually take the measurement of the waistline, not the under bust. So I'm going to correct that mistake. Okay, so now that the mistake has been corrected, so what I'm going to do is to just, now that I've already done that, I'm just going to connect from here to here, but I'm going to do it in a curved manner. All right, so like this, I'm going to connect like so, and I'm also going to do the same thing here. So now that that is done, I'm also going to want to create my princess seam, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the midpoints of this armhole. So here I found it. So once I find that, I'm then going to, now I'm going to connect that like so, from here all the way to here, create my princess seam. All right, so now that that is done, I also need to create a dot point here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides from that line previously created. Then I'm going to connect it. So okay, so now that that is done, now from this line here, the lower part, I'm going to go up by 1/2 inch, and doing this is going to make it very neat when you connect this side to this side. Okay, then from that, I'm then going to join it all the way to the armhole. Now that that is done, I am then going to transfer this seam allowance I created, which is 1 inch, and I'm going to transfer that here. All right, so now that that is done, okay, I will then connect everything I need to connect. Okay, so before I continue, I want to focus on the neckline first. So for the neckline, I'm going to go inwards because I'm looking at the shoulder and it doesn't look like, it looks a bit thin, not too thin but not too wide. So yeah, I'm going to go inwards from the neckline by 1 inch, and I'm going to go inwards from the neckline, from the shoulder line, by 1 inch too. So that way I have this right here. So now from here, I'm just going to connect from here all the way to the shoulder line. Connect like this. Okay, I feel like maybe I should use a different color of marker for the new one. So yeah, let me connect like this. Now for the neckline, I'm going to go down a bit by, let me see, let me take my measurement. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to go down by anything because I just checked and I'm okay with the way it looks. So I'm just going to connect from that point, the new line, to the neckline like so. So now I've created the new line. All right, so now from this under bust right here, I want it to be snatched. So what I'm going to do is from the outer part, I'm going to go outwards by 1/2 inch. Now from the inner part, I'm going, that's the center front, I'm going to go by 1/4. Okay, now I'm then going to connect I created. Okay, same thing goes for here. Okay, and now at this point right here, I'm just going to make sure I curve it well. Okay, so now that that is done, now from here I can just connect this line all the way to the hem of the top. Okay, now that that is done, this is what I have, and I'm just going to add the seam allowance for the darts that we took out. So okay, now that that is done, so I'm just going to then cut out what I need to cut out, then I'll add my seam allowance. So now here I'm going to make sure I cut this on fold. All right, and I'm going to cut 2 of this, and I'm going to 4 of this. So for some parts, I think I'm just going to want to add the seam allowance first. So I'm going to do that for the neckline and the shoulder line and the armhole, so that it just makes it easier for me to not have to add seam allowance so much when I'm cutting the fabric. I'm also going to add the seam allowance to the side seam. For the hem, I'm just going to make it 1 inch. Okay, so now that that is done, I can then cut the rest out. Okay, let me put this aside. Now the next part I'm going to show you is optional, but I like to do it especially at the side front to make the bust look better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and whatever I take from here, I'm going to make sure I account for it to the back of the top. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 1.5 inch from the bust point right there, and I am going to connect it to the bust point like so. All right, so now when I do that, I'm then going to put the bust darts. Okay, when I do that, then I am then going to overlap the bottom to get to the top like so. All right, then I'm going to want to tape them together. All right, now that that is done, you can see like here, right here is too pointy and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a proper curve because I don't want it to be too pointy like so. Okay, now that I've created the proper curve, I'm then going to make sure I tape it first before I cut it out. All right, so now I'm just going to cut out this point right here because it's going to be too pointy if you sew with it like that. All right, so now that that is done, another thing we need to do is to work on the side. So that is very easy. All you need to do is to tape a piece of paper to the side. And so, okay, now I can cut off the excess paper that we do not need. Okay, now that that is done, the front bodice is ready. Okay, we're going to keep this aside and now work on the back bodice. Now the back bodice is where the shoe is at because the back bodice is open, right? So now let us, and it's also going to be hopefully easy to draft, at least easier to draft than the front, because all we need to do is to create a curve and make sure that we avoid any gape. So now for the back, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to attend to the shoulder seam, and like the front part, we're going to go inwards on both sides by 1 inch. Okay, then I am going to connect the armhole side, so because the bar does not need any princess seam. Okay, and I'm going to connect so. Okay, so now the center back right here looks like going to curve all the way like so. Okay, so I'm just going to start off, and I'm just going to try to first of all freehand this. I'm just going to see how much I want to take in the back. I'm currently looking at the top while I do this, so okay, so I think I'm going to just like this. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to then go ahead with my marker and basically follow that tracing I did. Okay, so now that I have done that, what I'm then going to do is from the top, I kind of foresee some sort of gaping around here, so I'm going to want to prevent that from happening. So what do I do? Basically, what I'm going to do is at this armhole here, I'm just going to draw a line, find the center, and I'm going to draw a line at the center there. Now from that line right there, I am then going to go inwards on both sides by about 1/2 inch, and I'm going to create a dot like so, take it in so that way there isn't going to be any gaping when I make the top at the back. Okay, so and remember we also took in 1/2 inch at the waist, sorry, at the bust right there, so we're also going to make sure we take that 1/2 inch here as well. Okay, so I'm just going to then mark 1/2 inch from the top right here, 1.5 rather, 1.5 inches, and I'm going to draw a line. Okay, so that this place is going to need to be scrapped out to account for the side seam at the waist side of the top. Okay, so now that that is done, I'm then going to mark 1/2 inch all round and 1 inch at the hem right there. So this here, I'm going to mark it and make sure I label it to waist, because when I'm going to attach the strap at the back, is going to be attached at the waist. Okay, so now let me transfer the seam allowance. Okay, so I'm just extending the dot. Now here I'm just trying to make sure I connect. All right, so now that I've already created my seam allowance, I'm just going to first of all start off by cutting the inner part, because that is where we want to do some corrections. Okay, so first of all, for now that I've cut this out, this is what I need for the back. Okay, I'm going to cut this ×4. Now this place right here, I'm going to, because I don't need it, so we're going to want to close it up like so, and I'm going to tape that together. All right, so now that I've done that, I can then trim off this part right here I don't need. But before I do that, I don't want to make any mistakes, so I'm going to use my ruler to connect. All right, now for this part right here, we're then going to create our dots, or close up the darts like so. Okay, so while doing it, I decided to just close it up by 1/2 inch instead of a whole inch. So I'm just going to do that instead and tape that. And then I'm going to create my trim of this excess fabric right here, and your back is done. Okay, once everything is done, this is what you should have. You should have 2 pieces for your front and 1 piece for your back. Then you also need a strap, okay, to tie the up at the back, but I don't need to create the pattern for that. So now let's go use this to cut out our fabric. So for the fabric, I'm going to use this gingham. I really do not know if it's going to be enough. I am really hoping, even though I highly doubt it. So I'm trying to see where I can find some excess that I have. I'm really trying to find as much scrap as I can. Okay, so let me try to figure this out. I'm trying to squeeze out as much as I can from this fabric. Okay guys, so in the process of trying to cut the fabric, I realized that I don't have enough fabric to make the gingham. I don't have enough gingham fabric to make the top, is what I meant. I only have enough the front, and I wanted to use the same fabric to cut both the main fabric and the lining. And since I don't have enough, I'm thinking about changing the fabric to this one right here. So I used this fabric a while back to make not posting the vlog, but anyways, to make a skirt, my Mila skirt, Pansy tank top, as well as my Cynthia top. They're all there, and I just have a little left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. I really do love the detailing of the fabric. Let me show you. I like the texture. To use this to then make the instead. I wanted to use the gingham, but I guess this is the calling. So I'm just going to use this one to make the top, and I'm going to have to cut again. It's ways, but yeah, I'm going to make the top. Then I'm going to use a lining peel. Line the. Let's go do that now. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead to cut all the fabrics, and thankfully I have enough to make this. So this right here, ended up cutting out 2 pieces of the main fabric and 2 pieces of the lining. The lining is white, see-through and sheer. I have another one that is better, but I have a project I want to use for that lining, so I decided to use this one for this because this right here is already thick or opaque on its own, so it would still work fine. All right, so now let's go ahead and start sewing. Okay, so I'm gonna head to sew this, and this is what it looks like so far. I think I love it. So I made a mistake with the measurement at the side seam, so you can see like there's an excess about 1 inch or so here, but it's fine. I can also adjust that later. And yeah, this is what it looks like. So it's going to be tied at the back, and I need to join this at the shoulder seam. But other than that, I feel like everything is actually nice. I really love how it sits on the body. All right, so now let me go join the shoulder seam and the main fabric and the lining pieces together. But before I do that, I also want to make sure I attach this. I don't want to forget this. It's very important in making sure that I wear this. So let me go press this right now. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pin the strap on the side there. So I'm just going to place right sides of both fabrics together, like so. And when I do that, I'm basically going to sew the arm, the center, the back, the neckline, the armhole, the front neckline, basically everywhere. So, but I'm going to leave the shoulder seam unsewn because we're going to want to attach that later. Now I just need to pin first. Okay, so for the back right here, I want to, oh yeah, sorry. Here, I want to put an elastic band so that I can have my button loop here. Okay, so I'm just going to put an elastic band there and I'll pin it. Okay, so now let's take this to the sewing machine and sew. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead to sew everything, I'm really hoping it goes well. So I'm going to turn this right sides out. I'm going to turn the front part right sides out, especially at the shoulder seam. So guys, if you've gotten to the end of this video, I really appreciate it, and I thank you so much for watching this. I feel like the part 2 took a long time to get worked on because I had a lot going on, but finally it's here. And even though it's a summer sewing project and the weather is changing, it still doesn't matter. I'm sure it's still summer somewhere in the world. But yeah, first of all, I'm going to talk about my top to my least. I don't think I have a least favorite, but let me just say my top, like in terms of how much I like them, I would use that word. Okay, so first of all is of course the one I'm wearing right here, which is the Jane dress, which is currently not yet out. But if you want me to release this soon, leave me a comment in the comment section. I'll be happy to do that. However, like I said, you saw in the previous video, I hacked this into looking this so it can be free enough to wear without a belt or with a belt, okay, as opposed to the original pattern, which comes with like some sort of like it's even like a goddess like style, I don't know, but yeah. But this one right here is so basic and versatile too, okay, and I've been wearing this so much. And the cool thing about this is that I feel like, in as much as I made it for summer, I also feel like it's quite transitional depending on how you decide to style it and layer it. And here's the thing, you could actually make this short too without having to cut off any length. I did that like a couple of months back when I was going out with some girls and I wanted to wear something chic, but I didn't want to have to shorten the dress, and it came out so beautiful. I'm going to leave a picture here for you to see. Now if you want me to show you like a short reels on how to do that, I'll be happy to do that. Just leave me a comment in the comment section. It is very easy to do, okay. And one thing I love about this particular one is that it's so breezy, so you can decide to wear it with or without the belt, and it's also perfect for a transitional or an expecting mom, okay. So if you like this, leave me a comment in the comment section. Now the second one I really love is the skirt. The skirt is actually one of my pattern which is also available right now, and the difference, what I did differently about this was the fact that I closed up the sleeves, and that did so much because it prevented cold from getting into my skirt or my skin, okay. And it's also perfect to wear during the season too, which is also getting up. All right, so, and I've been wearing it so much. It's so breezy, so comfortable, so simple, and so easy to make too. And if it, like you saw in the video, I skipped a few steps when making this one. I just made it like a regular maxi tear skirt, right, as opposed to like the intended design of the pattern. So basically I hacked the skirt. Now the third one, although it's not my least favorite, it's just bottom of the list, and that is the top I've made in this video. And the reason why is because after I was done making it, I realized I made it a tad bit too small for me, and seeing as I'm still trying to like up my weight, I feel like it's going to even get smaller eventually. So I'm still going to want to make it hopefully again, but I'm going to have to make it a tad bit bigger than I did this time around. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what the issue was because I made it in my current size. However, maybe I must have done something wrong somewhere along the line. I'm going to try to figure that out later on, but it's not that big of a deal, to be honest, because it's still very comfortable to a certain degree. Okay, now those are the three, and I can't wait to make another, or I can't wait to make more in the future. All right, so let me know your favorites in the comment section. I'm curious to know as well. And if you haven't seen part 1 and you're watching part 2, please go check out part one. I'm going to leave it in the comment section, or I'm going to leave it at the top here for you to go check out as well. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye. And also remember that there are a few ways you could support me. One of them is actually getting my sewing pattern, which I sell on my website, and another one is subscribing to this channel. Then you could also give this video a thumbs up because it helps YouTube know that you liked this type of style. Okay, let me know what you think about this type of style. All right, I really like it, and I want to be making more of this in the future. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
My hands are shaking, stifle my breath. You look so lovely, it scares me to death. I used to get so insecure with you, it's different. Yeah, just something about you makes me so sure. Don't know what it is, but you make me wanna stay. Take a leap of faith. I know that you're safe, I know that you're safe. You'll be my parachute, baby, know you'll catch me whenever I fall. I fall. It's like my laces untied, got me tripping right into your arms. Your arms. Headed straight down through the night clouds, so is my heart bounce 10,000 feet, but you're my parachute, baby, know you'll catch me whenever I fall. I know you got me. Butterfly feeling, edge of a cliff. Rush of adrenaline in your kiss. Tethered up together, we could go the distance. Yeah, this atmospheric pressure, something when you pull me in you make me wanna stay. Take a leap of faith. I know that you're safe, I know. You'll be my parachute, baby, know you'll catch me whenever I fall. I fall. It's like my laces untied, got me tripping right into your arms. Your arms. Headed straight down through the night clouds, so is my heart bounce 10,000 feet, but you're my parachute, baby, know you'll catch me whenever I fall. I know you got me. I know you got me. I know you got me. Falling for you fast, I'm not afraid to land, 'cause you're my only solid ground. Flecks of gold in your eyes, you feel just like a sunrise. This is gonna take me down. You'll be my parachute, baby, know